So apparently, 90% of gamers never finish games. Why is this happening? Well, let's jump into this now. And by the way, I am referencing this particular video about this topic. I will actually link to it in the YouTube description down below. Make sure you go over there and check it out. Now, I am probably one of the 10% that actually finish games. When I start them, try to complete them to the end, unless the game is horrible or it goes on for like 400 hours and I can't complete it. I generally do a fair amount of research into the game, watch a few videos before I actually dive into the game and commit to it. But usually when I am committed to it, I will stick with it and finish the game. So I guess I am a little bit odd that way because I actually finish most of the games that I actually start. But what's the major problem here? Why do gamers not seemingly finish games? Well, one of the reasons would be the fact that there are so many games these days to choose from. And the problem with having so much choice is you're not quite sure which game to play. So you try this game, maybe you don't like it. You try another game, maybe you don't like it. You move on. You don't finish those games, do you? You just skip from one to another. And I have noticed this actually on Steam. I have a number of friends there, and when I am playing a game, I just glance over and hover over some of the friends, and I've noticed that games that take 100 hours to complete, they've spent like 20 hours, 10 hours in. Very few actually go ahead and commit to the game and finish it completely. Now, I'm not talking about going through the game and getting all the achievements. I'm not anyone who does that. But when I start a game, get into it, I usually commit to it and finish it right up until the end. So basically, it's choice overload. I mean, Steam has tens of thousands of games, and there are other platforms as well, of course, and they have thousands upon thousands of games to choose from. So it's kind of like this analysis paralysis where you don't know what to play, and then you select something and then you move on because you don't like it. And it's just confusing, it's infuriating, and it's, to be honest, very, very frustrating. And, if you look at the last maybe 20 games that you've played, how many of them have you actually completed to the end? Now, to be fair, there are a lot of really horrible games out there, but you want to look into the game really before playing it. And the other thing I think that's a problem are subscription services. And I say that because if you're paying $20 or $30 for, well, any subscription service, let's just say it's Netflix. If you don't like that movie or TV show, what are you going to do? Watch through it? Probably not. You're just going ahead and skip it. Same thing applies for games. If you have a gaming subscription service, if you don't like the game, you won't even give it a chance. You'll just skip it and move on. So this is another reason why 90% of gamers don't complete games. Now, many don't have gaming subscription services, but there are plenty of sales going on, not just on Steam, and they do have some fantastic deals on games, but there are lots of third-party sites that you can go to pick up games for next to nothing. And of course, if you see a game for cheap that you were eyeing and it goes on special, then you pick it up. But over the years, what happens? You have a basket full of probably hundreds of games. And if every game takes 20 to 30 to 40 plus hours to play, where are you going to find all the time? So that might encourage you in a way to filter through all those games that you picked up that you thought you would finish to the end. And now, of course, you don't have enough time, maybe enough patience to play through some of them. And some of them probably weren't as good as you thought they were. So you skip them and you don't finish them. Now, that, of course, is also a problem with choice because you have so many games to choose from. So you have difficulty starting. The sheer volume of options makes the initial decision of what you want to play daunting, a very daunting task, often leading to inaction. Have you ever found yourself like looking through Steam or just browsing videos on YouTube, wondering what's the next game you should play, even though you have hundreds of games maybe in your library to play? And there's also that missing out problem, right? Even though a game maybe you've selected, you've started playing it, sometimes you'll second guess yourself and think, this is okay. This is a pretty good game, but is there something else better that I could play? And maybe you think, yeah, there is. And you drop that game and you play another game. Now, this might also have something to do with people's attention spans these days and also people's commitments these days. Again, I think this comes down to choice. There's so much to choose from. You don't know to go here or there. It's confusing. And then you're in this vicious cycle. You kind of go round and round and round. And really, can you enjoy any game because you're thinking there's something always better, and you're in a little bit of a state of confusion. And don't get me wrong, I have been there. I mean, I've been playing through a game, some games that I don't like too well, and I just kind of push myself to absolutely get through it because, well, I'm halfway through it. I put 20 hours into it, and I just finish it because I know if I don't myself personally, and maybe that's another issue, but if I don't finish it, kind of feel like, well, you didn't follow through. But that could be a generational thing. I don't know. Now, this could also be another problem. Gamers are spending a lot of time watching other people play games. And this is something personally I just can't figure out. Why would you spend hundreds of hours watching someone else playing games when you could be playing games yourself? Now, I understand watching someone else play a game if you're trying to understand, the game and some aspects about it. But some of these playthroughs are literally like hundreds of hours. Some of these gamers, every session is 5, 6 hours, right? Some of these games go on forever and ever. So that could also be a problem. Maybe gamers now would rather sit back and watch someone else play a game instead of playing it themselves, or they try the game that they're watching someone else play and they're like, this is not the same experience. I'm not so good at this, or they second guess themselves or something. Now, that, of course, also has to do with the amount of choice that you have available to you now in this modern world, right? So not only are there thousands and thousands of games out there to choose from, and especially if you have a gaming streaming service, but you can watch other people for free playing games. So the choice is absolutely enormous. So is less choice better? In some respects, yes. Yes, it is. It has been proven in a few studies that people, for example, if you have to choose from maybe 4 jams as opposed to 400 jams, I'm talking about, the jam that you spread on your bread, people are generally happier with their decision if they go with one of the 4 instead of one of the 400, because, of course, you are going to wonder that 201st jam that you selected. Man, but there's so many others to choose from. I don't know if this one tastes any good or not. And you second guess yourself. It's just human nature. I mean, back in the day, you had just a few games to choose from. I remember, playing Unreal Tournament, Doom, Quake, Soldier of Fortune. There weren't a lot of games to choose from, and you played through them. And The majority of them were pretty good. And I guess that's the other problem these days. There are a lot of games and they're very similar, and there's so many similar games. But yeah, what I would recommend is go out, do some research into the game that you want to purchase before you purchase it, and see if you think that you'll play through it. And if you think that you won't, well, yeah, just don't even pick it up. So, do you play through games right to the very end? Now, I'm not talking about all the games, but do you play through the majority of games that you start? Let us know. Oh, and by the way, if you manage to watch right to the end, right, what you are. You are 100% kick ass.